Hey guys, welcome back to Ozzy and the Pro, and we're live from Carmen's Barbershop.
Yes, we are. Today we're going to talk about the fight that happened this past weekend, Jon Jones versus Domenic Reyes, UFC 247. So the decision was a little bit controversial. I think there's a divide in the MMA community and amongst my friends and everybody. So a lot of people thought Domenic Reyes won the first 3 rounds, and then we have a lot of people who think that Jon Jones won the last 3 rounds. So really, it's the 3rd round in question.
Yeah.
So what do you...
Personally, for me, I felt like it does come down to the 3rd round and how you scored it. I wasn't upset enough to be like, oh, this is a robbery or this is fixed or anything. Like, I didn't have any bold comments as far as that goes, because personally, just seeing how the fight went, I was definitely leaning more towards Jones, especially the way he finished the fight. I know it's judged round by round, but Jones being the champions always get a little bit more of they're looked at a higher standard, and he was moving forward a lot, which looks better to the judges. Even if he isn't landing, it still does look better in the judges' eyes.
Yeah, so I actually I see Joe. I don't agree with Joe Rogan and John Kavanaugh. They're online saying oh, it's the 4th and 5th round should count more, and it's it doesn't matter if it should count more. No. It's a round by round decision, and that's what they do. So I'm not really in line with that. What I do think though is in the first 2 rounds, I had to rewatch the fight because I'm looking online too, and I'm listening to what everybody's opinion is, and a lot of people are like, oh, I rewatched the fight and I could see how Jon Jones won the 3rd round, so I rewatched it, and so I think round 1 and 2, even though Reyes, but even though Reyes dominated, the thing is that Jon Jones still took the center of the octagon.
Yeah.
He's still kind of like
I said, to the eyes, to see that ringside, it might look better.
It's like aggression and dominance, right?
Yeah.
Owning the middle. Reyes was moving a lot, landing more strikes. Was more successful in the striking. Jon Jones was more accurate, right? And I don't think it was till the 4th round till he actually landed a takedown.
And none of the takedowns were really significant enough to make a difference. But
so here's the thing: is how do I don't know what your thoughts are, but I don't even know how judges should they rule, should they hold more weight to significant strikes, or should they say, oh, he took him down for 2 seconds, like in wrestling, you take somebody down, you get points.
So this is an interesting thing that actually Jon Jones tweeted about. He tweeted a clip from the 2nd round of, oh, this was Reyes's best moment from the 2nd round. He only landed 2 shots, and it was Reyes really throwing a flurry for about a minute or just under a minute, and he didn't hit Jones a lot, but then you have Jones on the back end also saying, well, I had the takedown aggression, but your takedown aggression also wasn't effective. So if his striking aggression isn't effective, you can't count your wrestling aggression as effective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really up in the air. I don't like I said, I think the fight was too close for anyone to be mad about it. I think they should probably have a rematch personally, and I think in a rematch, Jones usually he takes the cake when it comes to rematches. The guy comes with a great game plan, and I think he'll destroy Reyes if they fight again.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, a lot of. So one thing that I did realize when I watched the fight over again is that Jon Jones did slip out of the danger of a lot of the punches.
Yeah.
So although Reyes tagged him a lot, he still was kind of
leaning away from the power.
Moving away from the power, leaning a bit away. They still connected and they were still significant strikes, but I think that's probably why Reyes couldn't put him away, So, there's that. And then, really the 3rd round, he landed a good elbow. Reyes landed a good elbow off the clinch. He landed some good uppercuts. He had a lot of body shots. I'm still, I don't know how people can judge that 3rd round for Jones. That to me is I don't get it. I might be wrong. It's just my opinion.
It's like a lot of people. I feel like they go well, Reyes didn't do much, but on the other end, you have to be well, what did Jon Jones do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like people are almost looking at Reyes's inability to maybe land effectively was what lost him the round, when you don't really consider what Jones did in the 3rd round, which was there's nothing memorable that Jones did in the 3rd round. Personally, I felt the round, like I said, the round was too close to be oh wow, I think Jones got robbed.
So again, the 3rd round went back to the ring control, and it went back to him. He started chasing Reyes down a little bit more, right? So he started kind of bringing the fight to him. Even though he had ring control in round 1 and 2, like meaning holding the center of the octagon, he wasn't like hunting him down. In the third round, as soon as he realized Reyes started to get tired, he started to hunt him down.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt like. At the end of the day, the deciding factor of the fight came down to Reyes' conditioning more than anything. I don't feel like it was a skill disadvantage for Reyes, because surprisingly, like I predicted that Jones would have finished him on the ground, but Reyes' takedown defense proved to be like actually top notch, and he was able to get, even when he did get taken down, he was back up to his feet within seconds. So kudos to Reyes for that. You know, he surprised me in that area. But when it came down to the conditioning, you know, anyone who hasn't fought 5 rounds before, like Jones is super experienced with the 5 rounds. So I felt like that at the end of the day was really the deciding factor for everything.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, so I kind of thought that John Jones wouldn't be able to take him down, and only because I watched a lot of the tape on Reyes, and he got brought down by Özdemir a lot.
Yeah.
But he kept popping right back up.
Yeah.
Right. So I had a feeling that he wasn't gonna stay on the ground. Like other than that, just his movement, right?
Yeah.
Like he just kept moving. He didn't stop, left, right. You know, whereas I think John Jones has fought more stationary opponents. I don't remember somebody moving as much of him. Maybe like the first Gustafsson fight. You know, Gustafsson moved around a little bit more. So another thing that's brought up that I think should be talked about. I don't know how I feel about this yet, because maybe I'll give my take first and then I'll pass it over to you. But is the live scoring, right? Like, so some people are saying like, oh, you should know, you know, how you stand. But then, you know, I'm thinking about the flip side of that. The flip side of that could be, one, you see a bullshit round and you're like, what the hell? Like I smashed this guy and these stupid judges gave me, you know. So then you might fight different. It might impact your psychology. The second thing is, if you're up 2 rounds to 1, you just run.
Yeah.
You know, like you just run, keep your safety. So those are the only disadvantages, but I don't know, maybe you can talk about the advantages as a fighter.
Personally, I feel that it's better that way, and it holds the judges more accountable because everybody knows the scorecards, you know what I mean, going into a round. So if there is a bullshit round, you don't find out until the next day which judge really gave you the bullshit call, you know what I mean? You're finding out live, and of course, I feel like they're just held more accountable in that sense. And like you said, like someone could easily coast, but you look at the other end of it, it's like someone who's down might fight harder, which you especially imagine you go into the 5th round and it's all tied up and everybody knows that. Yeah, you guys are gonna have amazing 5th round. It's gonna be fireworks, like you said, right? So because there's people who coast regardless, whether they know they're winning or not. They might think they're winning, you know, based on what their coaches are telling them. So I'm definitely a pro for knowing the scorecards live.
So I actually do agree with you too. Yeah. I just wanted to bring the counter up because I hear the good side of it, but I just wanted to kind of bring up the counters to that. The other thing on top of that, so I totally agree with that. It could be, you know, a scoreboard or whatever, however they want to do that. The other thing too is I think judges should be held accountable. Yeah. So we've seen some decisions over the past couple of years.
That card, three decisions on that card alone.
Yeah, like you know, like how do these people justify it? So if there's the same judge, I think the same judge who scored that, who scored 4-1. No, it wasn't. One of the judges was the same as the Gustafsson fight. Yeah. But I don't know if it was the one who scored in 4-1. But either way, if these judges are making questionable decisions time after time, they should be held accountable, right? Like 100%. Fighters get suspended for everything. Yeah. You know, why are they not held accountable?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous being a fighter myself who's been actually in the position of getting screwed over in a decision before, pretty bad. And it's just like you're messing with a fighter's livelihood, you're messing with their career, their future plans, you know what I mean? Like, where would we be right now, for example, if Alex Gustafsson won the first Jones fight? Where would that division be? You don't know. You don't know. Like, a lot of times when you see an unbeatable fighter like Jones lose once, they lose over and over again, they lose a couple, like, you know what I mean? They seem less unstoppable, right? Like, for example, Rousey, Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida. Like, it's happened many times with undefeated champions in the UFC, and it's crazy to me that a third party alters the fight so much to where it's like it could literally ruin a person's career.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is. I can't even place it, but I remember, every time there's like terrible judging, you see these memes, and it's like all these blind people, and they're like judges of UFC 247 or this or that, So I think the UFC needs to do a better job. I know Dana White in the post-fight press conference said that they need to work with judges, but maybe they need to hire a third party or somebody to kind of come in.
And another thing too about the judges too that I know is a lot of times they throw just boxing judges in there that have never actually judged an MMA fight. I know for my friend Cody Stamen, when he fought Yadong Song, he got robbed. He got robbed, and they found out later that two of the judges for his fight had never judged an MMA fight. They were boxing judges going over to MMA. But how's that even fair? At that level of fighting, how's that fair? You're messing with, like I said, someone's livelihood. Even fuck the record at that point. It's you're talking about someone's pay. You know what I mean? Like how much of the money they put in to get to where they're at to train for that fight, and then you just take most of these guys are on a show win basis with the company. So as soon as they get screwed over by some judge who doesn't know anything about fighting, and then their pay suffers because of that.
Especially if it's a championship fight.
Yeah.
You're really taking away from somebody's pocket,
that's
right?
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like that's not a little bit of money that we're talking about.
So I feel like not only they take that part of box, like maybe the boxing rules, like even the 10-9 rounds and how they score, like most of the time. But why not have 5 judges? Like why do we have 3 judges?
I 100% believe that we should have at least 2 more judges, right? Because the more opinions, you know what I mean, the less room for error, right? 3 people can easily the chance of 2 of them being, you know what I mean, incompetent enough to judge the fight properly. But if you have 5 people, it just makes the pool bigger, because there's a lot of times where people, if the fight gets reviewed, it's put in front of a panel of a big group of judges, and then the decision might get overturned or something like that, right? So that's usually how it goes. But in the States, you don't see that very often. You don't see decisions get overturned, and it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the scoring nowadays. And I felt like this last event here at UFC 247 was a great example of things need to get changed.
Yeah, and like you said, it wasn't even a robbery, but there was a lot of questionable decisions that night, and not only that night, all the time. Like, it's so frustrating to watch. Like, the one comment I hear is, "Oh, here we go with this bullshit again, judging, and this is just like boxing, and is it fixed and all this other stuff." So I'd like to know even and I need to read up on this because I actually don't know. Like, what weighs more? Like, we talk about being the aggressor, obviously takedowns. Advancing position, submissions, strikes. Like what counts more? And so these judges should be trained almost in the same way to kind of have some sort of stand. You can't be a wrestling guy and be like, oh, his back hit the ground for a second.
Yeah.
So.
And then another big thing too that I seen online was maybe introducing like a half point system, so maybe a 10 to a 9.5 round. Or maybe like a 10 to an 8.5 round. I feel like when you're getting more specific with things like that, but then I also seen another comment where it was like, oh, the judges won't be confident enough to add it up properly at the end of the fight, which I thought was pretty funny, but
might be accurate too,
Yeah, but I feel like it's that's another good thing that could come into play.
Yeah, because I mean, like that 10 to 9.5 round, for example, that third round could have been
like a 0.5 for somebody.
0.5. How can you judge? Like
something so close
for I don't know if he got all 10-8 rounds against Michael Johnson, but
yeah.
Did he?
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But if one judge didn't score a 10-8 round, then you're telling me that round was as decisive as round 3 of Jones versus Reyes? It's stupid.
Yeah. The comparisons aren't the same. Not even close to the same.
It's like a different world. So I definitely think they need to take judging more seriously and kind of take action, because it's shitty for the fans.
Yeah.
And forget the fans.
Yeah,
the fighters, right?
Yeah.
Like, you would know.
So you guys just let us know what you thought about the fight and what you think possibly could be fixed about scoring cards for MMA. And just leave your comments below. Please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for joining us, guys.